Hello there. It is Sunday, November 10th, 2019, 1:02 in the afternoon. I still haven't figured out how it's gotten to be November already. It seems like it was just January, but whatever happens when you get old. A little bit of a recap before I get into this week's topic. I'm moving right along on Fast Fading Light. I'm almost caught back up to where I had stopped, and hopefully once I get that finished, I'll be able to continue forward on that. Although I'm thinking right now that I might go back to focusing my attention on My Soul to Keep. It's the closest to being finished, so I'm probably going to put more effort into getting that finished up, and then I can get that into editing and start getting that hammered into shape. And also, on a non-writing related note, I also did just sign up for Disney Plus because, excuse me, because of all the backlash against Star Wars and Disney. I am still at my heart a Star Wars fan, and The Mandalorian does look very good. So I'm going to give it a shot. We'll see how it goes, and I just hope it's good. I also hope The Rise of Skywalker is good, but I'm still cautiously optimistic about that one. We'll see. And bringing up Star Wars leads me into actually the topic of I wanted to talk about this week, and that's reviews and criticism. Firstly, going into my own personal experience on reviews, particularly of my books. I have not gotten a lot of reviews. I've gotten a fair number, but I wouldn't, not a lot. Not anything where Amazon's going to say, "Hey, he's getting however many hundreds of 5-star reviews." Like, I've gotten some. I mean, they've all been 5-star reviews, and I'm really grateful for that. But not a lot of them. So, and I know I'm not naive enough to believe that I'm never going to get a bad review. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a bad review. And when it happens, it happens. Okay, you can't please everybody. And that's something that I keep in mind. It's like, okay, not every story is going to be for everyone. And it's just easier if you know that one of these days somebody's not going to like something. So I know myself, when I put up a review, even if it's something that I like, but something about it didn't agree with, that I didn't agree with, I'll mention that in a review. Like, for example, I read a Star Trek novel a couple years back that I thought overall was a very good story, and it carried along very well. Somehow managed to pull off a crossover between Voyager and the original series. Still interesting the way he did that, but I liked it overall, as I said, but I thought a couple of characters got kind of shortchanged, which I did mention. I overall said, was that I liked the story, but I wished, a couple of the characters had a little bigger parts, and that was my only drawback. And that's all I ask. Like I said, I'm going to get a bad review one of these days. It's just a matter of time. But reviews are interesting because you have to know how much weight to put into, how much weight to give them. If you read them and you take everyone like it came down from Moses with the 10 commandments. You have to sing History of the World to get that one. Sorry. So I was my train of thought. Oh yeah. Excuse me. If I lost my train of thought again. If you read something of mine and you leave a review, my request to you is tell me what you liked or didn't like. If you didn't like the story, that's fine. You didn't like whatever novella or story that you've read and you didn't like it, that's fine. I understand that not every story is going to be for everybody, like I said. But I want you to tell me what you didn't like about it. If you say, well, overall the story was pretty good. I didn't really like this character. I didn't agree with his or her behavior, couldn't really buy their motivations, and just didn't seem like that well developed a character. Okay. Or, the situation seemed a bit far-fetched even for a science fiction story. Okay, I'll accept that. But also, on the other side, if you're going to tell me, oh, this is really a great story, well, what'd you love about it? Oh, I really like this, I like that, I like the characters, I like the plot, the plot was good, everything seemed to flow. Great. If you just say, oh, I didn't like it. Well, what didn't you like about it? I just didn't like it. Okay, I'm going to ignore your commentary because you're not telling me anything. You didn't like it. Okay, you didn't like it. Great. But it's the same thing if you tell me you liked it. Oh yeah, I really liked it. Great. What'd you like about it? Oh, I really liked it. What did you like about it? No, it was really good. Yeah, I'm not going to pay much attention to that either because you're not telling me anything. You're not telling me what did I do right? What did I not do right? So that's something I'm just going to just let it go. And also, on a side note, when it comes to reviews, they do help whether they're good or bad, because if Amazon's seeing the reviews along with the sales, then they know that the books are actually selling. People are reacting to them, and they start being recommended a bit more. And those recommendations are interesting because I keep getting emails from Amazon recommending books. Hey, you're still thinking about this book? And hey, here's something else that you might be interested in. And it's one of my own books. It's like, yeah. It's like, hey, you still thinking about Stranger? Yeah, I just published it. So yeah. So not just myself, but any author, whether they're professional writers and independent like myself, somebody who can make a living off of their books, or somebody who's still struggling to get that ball rolling. Every review helps, good, bad, or indifferent. Of course, we all want good reviews. It's just naive to assume they're always going to be good reviews, which now leads me then to the other side of that, the criticism. If you tell me that you didn't like one of my stories, let's just stay with Raven, one of the two I just published. If you read Raven and you tell me that, well, I really didn't like it. I found the characters to be poorly drawn and the situation was kind of unbelievable. Okay. I'm not going to come back at you like certain other media outlets and and studios go at their fans who dare criticize their movies. I'm not going to do that. If you tell me that you didn't like something, the one reaction you're going to get from me is, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What didn't you like about it? Because maybe it's something that I do subconsciously. We're all writers. All writers have their bad habits, and it's quite possible that what you didn't like, it's possible that somebody else might not have even noticed it, or maybe they liked it, but it might be something that I do all the time and just don't think about. I have, for example, in my first drafts, if you look through any of them, a lot of people hesitate and a lot of people say, yeah. Like every sentence, like, yeah, I'll do this. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, this. Yeah, that. And it's okay. But, I'm never going to go after, a fan who tells, a reader, I should say, who tells me they didn't like, one of the books. I'm never going to, say, well, obviously, if you didn't like the story, with this female lead character, it's obviously you didn't like it because you hate women. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. That is part of the problem that, for example, mentioning Disney earlier, um, has had with the way they've handled Star Wars. It's not, you didn't sit back and say, well, I didn't like The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi. I actually did like The Force Awakens. It wasn't bad. Could have been better, but it wasn't bad. As opposed to The Last Jedi, which was just bad. Um, I'm not going to turn around and do what Disney did and say, well, obviously if you didn't like, The Last Jedi, well, it's because of the main character of Rey, and obviously if you don't like Rey, you're a misogynist. It's like, no, I just don't like poorly drawn characters, and that's the problem. I have no problem with any of the actors. The actors did the best job they could with what they were given, and honestly, they weren't given a whole hell of a lot. I will never do that. And the same thing, with CBS and Star Trek Discovery. The less I say about Discovery, the better. Being an original series Star Trek fan, oh God, this thing sucks. Anyway, the comeback is, well, obviously if you don't like Star Trek Discovery, you're not, and its main character of Michael Burnham, who happens to be an African American woman, obviously if you don't like Star Trek Discovery, you're a racist. You're not only a sexist, you're a racist. And well, my God, there's gay characters in there also, so obviously you must be a homophobe as well. Fuck you. No. Myself, any other science fiction fan worth their metal is not going to have a problem with either gender, any race. It does not matter. We just want good characters and good stories, and you should be adult enough to take some criticism. Okay, where this whiny behavior and accusations of being an istophobe, if you dare criticize, comes from is the agendas. It's like, yeah, diversity is a great thing when it's naturally done. You cast the best people for the roles, not the best people to fill off a checklist that you're going by, which seems like most of what Hollywood is doing these days, not just in Star Wars and Star Trek. And it's one of the reasons why I don't go too deeply most of the time into describing my characters. I'll give you some basics: height, general build. If there's any distinguishing features, like I have a character, name is Carolina Drostia. She's the main character of On a Cold Wind, and she also turns up in Wanderer. She has 2 more stories that I really should get to. She has white hair, not platinum blonde hair, white hair. And I'll mention that. And I also mentioned she has gray eyes and her has a more athletic build. And that's all I'm going to tell you. If you want to picture her as a black woman, knock yourself out. Want to picture her as a white woman, knock yourself out. The same thing with any of my stories. If, for example, if you read Raven and you want to picture both David and Maureen as black, go for it. I am not going to tell you you're wrong, because I did that on purpose. Because I do want you to form that image in your mind the way you see fit. And I seem to have gotten a bit off track here. I'm sorry. It's what happens. I don't work off of a script here. I'm just going completely off the top of my head. So yeah, I don't like the whininess and the accusations of being an istophobe just because someone dares criticize a um a movie or a television show or a book or whatever, and I will never do that. Um, so I guess that's going to be it for this week. Like and subscribe if you're not already um, if you're not already subscribed. Hit the little button. I forget which side it's going to turn up on, but it's down there. Hit the notification button. I try and do videos at least once a week. Every now and again, I'll get up I'll have a second one up if there's something if something comes up, or if there's a if I get the desire to read a poem or an excerpt from one of the stories, I'll do that also as a second video. All my links down below to all my social media, and also links to my website where you can find all the books on Amazon and Smashwords and for print and ebooks. And as I've said through this whole thing, if you do read, if you do buy, please go back and leave a review. Good, bad, or indifferent, it all helps. And remember, we are each of us the heroes of our own story and the villains of someone else's. See you next week.